Hello again, Michael Hunt. Would invite you to check out our website at michaelhunt.life, our Facebook page, and also our YouTube page. I want to continue what we talked about earlier about the placebo effect. The purpose of this and the previous recording is not to enlighten you about all these things. Rather, I would like to get you curious so that you could turn your computer on and do a little researching on your own and be impressed with the power of your mind. That's what this is all about. The placebo effect. Here, I did a Google search, and the search was what percentage placebo effect. So it was designed to give me some answers from the internet as to what percentage of results are attributed solely to the use of a placebo. Estimates of the placebo cure rate range from a low of 15% to a high of 72%. The longer the period of treatment and the larger the number of physician visits, the greater the placebo effect. Finally, the placebo effect is not restricted to subjective self-reports of pain, mood, or attitude. And so this is an interesting excerpt from, I think it's psychologytoday.com, but it's about the fact that when they have conducted studies and observed the results of using a placebo and not using a placebo, the benefits that are derived solely from the person believing that they had received a valid medication ranged anywhere from 15 to 72%. That is fantastic. Can you imagine being a drug company trying to develop a new drug and you want to test it, and you have to deal with the fact that some people believe that the drug's going to work, whether it actually works for them or not? And that's the placebo effect. So here's a couple more numbers. This is from another website, and it's one of those big Ivy League names. I won't mention it, but it says the researchers discovered that the placebo was 50% as effective as the real drug to reduce pain after a migraine attack. Here's another one. This is a medical journal of some kind. The placebo effect is a phenomenon in which the body starts to heal. This might account for from 50 to 75% of the response rate. So you see, the idea is not about the placebo, but the fact that the common denominator here is the mind. When you think that you've received something that's going to benefit you, the mind kicks into gear and it starts making it true. If you receive something that you think blocks pain, the mind is able to generate its own pain-blocking chemicals and release them. And that's what happens many times. And so here's another article that comes from drugs.com, and it refers to placebos. Why are placebos used in drug studies? Conducting a double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial helps to eliminate any bias that might occur due to knowledge of who receives which treatments. A patient or researcher would expect those who receive the active drug to have a better outcome than those who did not, and this knowledge can introduce bias into the study. So they conduct what they call double-blind studies, which means the patient doesn't know whether they're getting a placebo, and the person administering that does not know whether they're administering a placebo. So there's no way that information can be anticipated. So what's the bottom line? The bottom line is that you need to be aware of how powerful your mind is. And what you think and what you believe and what you focus on will absolutely affect you physiologically. And so if you want to be sick, you can think about things that make you sick and you'll get sick. And if you're sick and you want to get sicker, just continue to enhance that state by focusing on the negative aspects of it. Kind of like I mentioned to you the other day, I was talking to a fellow and I said, "How you doing?" He says, "I'm trying to get a cold." Well, that may sound innocent enough, and many times we all would make the mistake of saying that. But the fact of the matter is when you are thinking in those terms, your body hears what your mind is saying or thinking, and that input, if it's a negative input, will absolutely affect the length of time that you have a cold, how bad the cold is, and how long it takes you to recover and completely get over all the symptoms of the cold. So please be aware. Please be aware of the power of your mind. This is something we discovered a long time ago. We utilize this in our therapy. You have the power within you to heal yourself. We already know that. What we need to do is find out why there are blocks occurring and causing you to interfere with your own self, unintentionally, but nevertheless, realistically, and then resolve those. And then make sure that we finish that work so they don't come back. And we've done it thousands of times. It's very effective. It's applicable to many areas of life. And so we just encourage you to become self-educated on this subject and understand what's at stake in terms of your thinking and your mind. And if you want assistance, please go to our website, go to our Facebook page. There's a button there, book a strategy call, no charge for the call. And we'll spend some time with you answering your questions and explaining these things further. We want to help you, and we want you to have the kind of life that you were intended to have. That's why we call ourselves Life Recovery Expert. So take care, have a good day. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Watch what you're thinking. Bye for now.